Right now, an algorithm is testing your digital identity against thousands of corporate networks per second. The infrastructure driving this operates in the background of our digital economy, and it never pauses. The public assumes the danger of a data breach passes once the news cycle ends. In reality, a leaked password represents the birth of an industrialized commodity. These breaches create a massive supply of compromised data that functions as the primary fuel for a hidden global economy. The legacy security model relied on the isolation of secrets, a single phrase guarding a single boundary. But the architecture of the modern internet eliminated that isolation. Today, the average user manages dozens, often hundreds, of accounts across highly interconnected platforms. This diagram shows the scale of that interconnection, where one identity node branches out to dozens of different applications. Faced with the overwhelming cognitive load of managing these accounts, the human mind defaults to efficiency. We reuse passwords or recycle slight variations of the same phrase. This psychological friction, human efficiency through repetition, is the exact vulnerability that cybercriminal syndicates exploit. The escalation begins quietly. A localized breach at a minor service provider siphons millions of passwords into simple plaintext files. These files are rarely used against the original provider. Instead, they serve as raw material, aggregated with data from thousands of other breaches. Unorganized data packets combine into a centralized database. Hackers sanitize, format, and index this data with logistics precision, creating COM lists. This drives credential stuffing. Attackers deploy botnets to mask origins, launching millions of concurrent login attempts against high-value targets. Because humans reuse passwords, mathematical probability dictates that a certain percentage of these logins will succeed. The attacker simply walks through the front door. The automation of access is the primary driver of the modern cybersecurity crisis. Beneath this mechanism lies a hidden layer of the cyber economy. The entity running the automated attack rarely executes the final theft. They operate as initial access brokers. Their sole function is to discover open doors and package verified access for sale on specialized dark markets. Ransomware cartels and state-sponsored actors then purchase this access to deploy their malware. The real-world impact is staggering. Hospitals are paralyzed, credit is destroyed, and critical infrastructure is held hostage. A single reused password creates a multi-billion-dollar blast radius that encompasses entire global supply chains. The password is a legacy mechanism unsuited for an interconnected, automated environment. Security models are now transitioning toward zero-trust architecture. As this padlock graphic shatters, it represents the shift to a system assuming a password has already been compromised. This model relies on continuous verification of contextual signals. It pulls data from biometrics, hardware tokens, geographic location, and behavioral analysis to verify identity. Identity is no longer defined by a static secret. It is something a user must prove continuously. Moving away from passwords will cause friction for users accustomed to the old model. However, the evolution is mandatory. Stolen identity databases will continue to grow as long as algorithms are testing the boundaries. The only defense against an automated supply chain of compromise is an architecture that renders the stolen commodity worthless. Automation has broken the concept of the static lock. Security now depends on the continuous verification of identity.